जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन जमुना तीर वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन Jaya Gospat Paravangja Paribhrajagacharya Sattva Sadasyamal Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnavindi ki Jai, Ramacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Jai, Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Se Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki Jai, Sri Radha Krishna Gaur Gopinath Sam Kund Radha Kund Girivardhan ki Jai, वृंदावन धाम की जय, नवद्वीप धाम की जय, गंगा माई की जय, जमुना माई की जय, तुलसी देवी की जय, भक्ति देवी की जय, स्वामीत भक्तविंद की जय. All glories to the Assembled Lord. All glories to the Assembled Lord. All glories to the Assembled Lord. Thank you very much.
Therefore, all my activities should be simply directed for the benefit of Krishna. This is called pure yoga. And therefore Krishna says that yoginam api sarvesam madhvata antaratmana sadhya.
The following is a class on the Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th Canto, 9th Chapter, text number 9, given by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, recorded on February 16th, 1976, in Mayapur, India.
Translation. The Lord Maharaj continued to offer his prayers as follows. I consider that a person who is possessed of all riches, born in an aristocratic family, by bodily luster and by beauty, by austerity, by education, by expert activities, by effulgence, by influence, by bodily strength, historical activities, intelligence, and mystic yoga power, by all these qualifications, nobody can worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but simply by devotional service, as it was done by Gajendra. Thus the Lord was satisfied upon him.
Manne dhanadhijana rupa tapasthitauja teja prabhava balo paurusha buddhi yoga naradhanaya bhavanti parasya punso bhaktya tutosha bhagavan gajadusa paya. So, Bhagavad Bhakti is not dependent on any material possession. Material possession, the description is fully given here. If one is very rich, dhana, he cannot think that I can become a devotee of the Lord. Because Hiranyakashipu possessed the riches of the whole universe, but he could not become a devotee. So, this is misconception that because I am very rich, I am very beautiful, I am very intelligent, I am a great scholar, I am a very prestigious person, and so on, so on. There are so many things. But Prahlad Maharaj says, no, nothing of these items can help you to be promoted to the transcendental platform of devotional service. Nothing. Only bhakti. And Krishna also says in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhaktyamam abhijanati. He never said that by karma, by jnana, by yoga, nothing. There are four things for elevation. Karma, jnana, yoga, and lastly bhakti. Bhakti is the ultimate goal. Karma, you cannot become perfect if it is not mixed up with bhakti. That is called karma yoga. Jnana itself is useless unless it is added with bhakti. That is called jnana yoga. Similarly, Hatha yoga, every yoga, everything is yoga. Karma yoga, jnana yoga, dhyana yoga, Hatha yoga. But yoga means connection, link up with the Supreme. Then it is karma yoga, dhyana yoga, jnana yoga. And when this yoga becomes completely pure, then without karma, without jnana, without mystic power, that is called pure yoga. So that pure yoga means love of God. Krishna is my Lord, I am Krishna's servant. This much understanding, I am eternal servant of Krishna, so my life is for Krishna, therefore all my activities should be simply directed for the benefit of Krishna. This is called pure yoga. And therefore Krishna says that yoginam api sarvesam madvata antaratmana sadhyavam bhajati yumam samiyukta tamo. There are many types of yogis, but the yogi who is always thinking of Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, yeah. So they are first class yogis. Even they are just like Prahlad Maharaj. He was first class yogi because he was always thinking of Krishna, Narayana. And he was not afraid of his father's punishment, chastisement. Prahlad Maharaj analyzed that these things cannot help you. If you think that I am very rich man, I can purchase God. Generally they think so, that by riches one can purchase God. Then dhanai abhijana. Abhijana means aristocratic family. Big connection with big men. That is called abhijana. Just like Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami was minister. So, he was connected with very big families. Kaptyaturnam asesa mandalapati saning. This Rupa Goswami gave up this aristocratic position. Because he was minister, his connection with big zamindars, big businessmen, big nawabs, he could not mix with ordinary men. But he gave up everything. There is the same example as Prahlad Maharaj said. Abhijana. These are useless. So Rupa Goswami gave example. Tattva tu namasi samandalapati sanin sada tuchava. Tuchava, there is no value. Insignificant. Give up. The same line. This is called disciplic succession. Many millions of years, the Prahlad Maharaj said that Abhijana, by these things he cannot achieve the platform of devotional life. And many millions of years after, so Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami also showed the same example. Satyatu namasi samandalapati sani sada tucha. This is called parampara system. Not that millions of years ago, Prahlad Maharaj, what he did, that is now gone. Now something new should be introduced. No, it cannot be changed, even millions of years out. This is called parampara system. Krishna said, millions of years ago, I spoke this Bhagavad Gita yoga process to sun God. Imanga vivasati yogam praptavan aham. The same aham, Krishna, he spoke millions and trillions of years ago to sun God. So, nothing new. Krishna consciousness is not a new manufactured method. No. It is the oldest. So, Prahlad Maharaj also said something. Rupa. Rupa means personal beauty. I am very beautiful, that Krishna will be attracted. Krishna has many, many thousands of beautiful wives and friends. In Vrindavan, he had many, many beautiful girlfriends, the gopis. And in Dwarka, he had many, many beautiful queens, 16,108. Count. Lakshmi, they are all goddess of fortune. That is Krishna. Lakshmi sahasra sata sambrama sevamanam govindamadi purusam tamaham. Krishna is not after beauty, but beauty is after him. That is Krishna. Not Krishna is after beauty. The materialistic person, they think that Krishna was so much fond of beautiful women. No, that's not the fact. The beautiful women were after Krishna. That is Krishna. Krishna is so beautiful. Kandarpa koti kamaniya vishesha sobham. Kandarpa means Cupid. We have heard the name of Cupid, very beautiful, attractive. But he is Kandarpa koti kamaniya vishesha sobham govindamadi purusam tamam. Krishna does not want any beauty for his satisfaction. He is self-satisfied. But devotees, beautiful devotees, rich devotees, aristocratic devotees, perfect devotees, they are up. That is, he is self-satisfied. He doesn't require anything. This, just like when these foolish people read Srimad Bhagavatam, and it is said that Krishna had 16,000 wives, queens. So, they think that an ordinary man, one who keeps more than one wife, he is considered to be very lusty. No, that is not the fact. Krishna, these 16,000 wives, how they became wives? You know the story, that many beautiful, 16,000 beautiful, the king's daughters were kidnapped by the Asura. What is the name of that Asura? Bhavasura, no? Yeah. So they prayed to Krishna that we are suffering, kidnapped by this rascal. Please save us. So Krishna came to rescue them, and the Bhavasura was killed, and all the girls were made free. But after freedom, they were still standing there. So Krishna asked them, now you can go home to your father. And they said that we were kidnapped And we cannot be married. In India still that rule is there. If one, a girl, young girl, goes out of home for 1 day or 2 days, nobody will marry him. Nobody will marry him. He is considered to be spoiled. This is still the Indian system. So they were kidnapped for so many days or so many years. So they appealed to Krishna that will not be accepted either by our father, neither anybody will agree to marry. Then Krishna understood that their position is very precarious. Although they are released, they cannot go anywhere. Then Krishna, he is so kind, Bhakta Vatsal, he inquired, what do you want? That they said that you accept me, otherwise we have no other means to stay. Krishna immediately, yes, come on. This is Krishna. And not that he, 16,000 wives, was concentrated in one camp. He immediately constructed 16,000 palaces. Because he has accepted as wife, he must be maintained as his wife, as his queen. Not that because they have no other means, they have come to my shelter, I can keep them anyway. No. Most respectfully, as queen, as Krishna's queen. And again, he thought that the 16,000 wives, so if I remain alone, one figure, then my wife cannot meet me. Everyone has to wait for 16,000 days to see the husband. No. He expanded himself into 16,000 Krishnas. This is Krishna. These rascals, they accuse Krishna as woman hunter. It is not like you. You cannot maintain even one wife. But he maintained 16,000 wives in 16,000 palaces and in 16,000 expansion of power. Everyone was pleased. This is Krishna. We have to understand what is Krishna. Don't try to imitate Krishna. First of all, try to understand Krishna. So, then again, tapa. Jaggaddhara tapa kriya, na tajam, kajamevata. In the human society, this is very essential, that one must perform yajna. That is stated in the Bible. Dana, that's only brahmachari. He must perform yajna. Then grihastha, he must give in charity. Who will give charity? Now they cannot maintain even family. Where is the question of charity? The grihastha must give in charity. Jagat dana and tapa. And those who are banapasta and sannyasi, they should practice tapasya, austerities. Jagat dana tapa kriya, na tajam, kajameva tat. Because you have taken sannyas, you cannot give up these things. Jagadana tapa. It must continue. You cannot say, we have given up everything, we have given up these things also. No. Krishna therefore says, Jagadana tapa kriya pavanani manusina. Even if you think that you have become very great, saintly person, still you cannot give up this, Jagadana tapa kriya. So, tapa. And Sutta. Sutta means education. Education means Vedic education. Not this electrical education. No, that is not education. Nowadays, they have taken education, technology as education. That is not education. If I become an expert electrician, that is not education. Education, Pandita, the Chanakya in the lower stage of life, ordinary life, he said, who is educated, Pandita, he said, Matrivat paradareshu, paradabeshu, lostava, atvat sarvabhuteshu, japasati, sapandi. This is education. Where is that education? Matrivat paradareshu. All women, mother. Where is that education? There is no education. Therefore, in this age, practically everyone is a mudha, not educated. He does not know how to look upon woman. Woman should be looked as mother. Still, in India, unknown woman should be addressed mother. They have introduced now in the northern India, Bahinji. No, this was not there today. Mataji. This is Indian culture, not Bahinji. This has been introduced now. No. Matra sasra jahitrava. Woman connection with man is as mother, as sister, or as daughter. No other relation. This is Indian culture. Matrivat paradarishu paradabeshu lostava atvat sarvabhuteshu japasanti sapandi. This is culture. This is also and teja, ojasa. Ojasa means strength. This is like Kshatriya. They are teja. A Kshatriya cannot tolerate that a man is being tortured before him. No, he will take immediately. Why man? Even animal. Even animal. Just like Parikshit Maharaj, he saw that one cow was being attempted to be killed. Immediately took his sword. And in modern civilization, even in a city like New York, if a man is killed before one man, nobody will take care. Nobody will take care. Is it not? Let him be killed. I am going in my own way. So, this is not civilization. There is no Brahmana, there is no Kshatriya, there is no Vaishya. Simply all Sudras. Kalo Sudra Sambhava. So you cannot be happy under the government of the Sudras. That is not possible. Must be Teja. Government must be very, very powerful. Even say, not more than 100 years ago, the Kashmir king was so powerful that there was no stealing in the state, on the whole state. There was no stealing. There was no thief. That is government. At night I have to become concerned. The thief may come, a burglar may come. So that is not enough. One should lie down very freely. The government is there. That is called Teja. Kshatriya. Teja, then Prabha, influence, Bolo, bodily strength. Paurusa. Paurusa means one who has achieved many wonderful things. That's called Paurusa. So nowadays there are many persons who are very, they have done so-called achievement, just like this atom bomb. It is also atom bomb. But what for this purpose? The purpose is to kill. That is not Prabhava. Prabhava means to good to others, influence. Prabhava, Purusha, and Buddhi, intelligence. So Buddhi means know how to cheat you. That is not Buddhi. Buddhi means to know what is your problem of life and endeavor for solving this problem. This is called Buddhi. Therefore, Bhakti Yoga is known as Buddhi Yoga. Buddhi Yoga. In the Bhagavad Gita I find this word, Buddhi Yoga. What is that Buddhi Yoga? Buddhi Yoga means, Jena mam upajardite dadami Buddhi Yogam tam. That is Buddhi Yoga. Intelligence means to know how to go back to home, back to God. That is intelligence. Not that intelligence, how to cheat you, how to get some money, who can prove. That is not intelligence. That intelligence I see, I was, Hari I was explaining that is in ant, a small ant. As soon as there is a drop of sugar juice, immediately, within a second, hundreds of ants will come. Here is a drop of sugar. This is nature step. This kind of Buddhi Yoga, or Buddhi intelligence, how to eat, how to sleep, how to have sex, and how to defend. Even in the ant there, this Buddhi Yoga is there. That is not Buddhi Yoga. To endeavor too much for the ahara nidra bhayamainsunancha, that is not considered Buddhi. That Buddhi intelligence is there even in the ant, a small ant. The real Buddhi Yoga is how to be engaged in devotional service of the Lord. That is Buddhi Yoga. How to become first class devotee of Krishna. That is called Buddhi Yoga. Buddhi Yogam dadanitam. Jeno upajantite. That is Buddhi Yoga. How to go back to home, back to God. That is Buddhi. So this ordinary Buddhi will not. Buddhi, everyone has got intelligence. Even the ant has got intelligence. We study sometimes. The sparrow, he has got intelligence. But the perfect intelligence is there when one is in Bhakti Yoga, in searching up, athata brahma jigyasa. When one is searching after the absolute truth. That is Buddhi Yoga. Buddhi Yoga, here is how to yoga. No aradhana. This ordinary material buddhi, material wealth, material beauty, these things are not competent to worship the Supreme Personality of God. No aradhanaya, no aradhanaya bhavanti. These are useless. So, don't be disappointed that because I am poor, I cannot become devotee. Everyone can become devotee. Abala viddha vanita. Even the children, just see how the children, they are dancing, they are chanting, they are offering obeisances. That is Bhakti Yoga. Sai vungsang paro dharmo jato bhakti radhukhaji ahituki apratihata jino apma samprasidati. So, Gajajutapaya, here it is, even the elephant, he also became a great devotee. Even a monkey, Hanumanji, he became a great devotee. He is not even human. So therefore, bhakti is apratihata. It cannot be checked in any condition. In any condition you will become bhakti. Simply if you learn from the authority how to do it. That greatest authority is Krishna. He says, I will give you intelligence. Buddhi yogam dadami. I will give you. How? Tisam sataduyuktanam bhajatam freely good. If one is working under the direction of the spiritual master with love and faith, then Krishna from within as Chaitya Guru, the Guru within the heart, he will help you and he will send you bona fide Guru to help you externally. So both ways you will be helped and you will become Prahlad Maharaj. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. So this prayer by Prahlad Maharaj, Manye Dhanabhijana Rupata Pashtutau Just Teja Prabhava Bala Paurusha Buddhi Yogaha. So there are 12 items here. So about each of the item Prabhupada was explaining. So let us try to understand the way that Prabhupada explained each of the items. So the first item is Manye Dhana. Whose example Prabhupada gave for a very rich person who could not become a devotee of the Lord? Hiranyakashipu. Haribol.
Raise your hand.
Yeah. So then Prabhupada said about
7.9.9.
when Prahlad talks about how to attain the Lord, how you can attain the Lord and what is not necessary to attain the Lord. What Prahlad said. By which methods Lord is not attained, by which method Lord is attained. Very simple question it is. See, Prabhupada says, only by Prabhupada said, only by bhakti you can attain the Lord, not by karma, jnana and yoga. Nothing. He said, Yeah. Because these are all methods for elevation, karma, jnana, yoga. But he said, Lord is attained only by bhakti. That was the main point. So Prabhupada said, pure yoga means love of Godhead. And then he explained it, what it is, he explained. Anybody can say? So these are all not pure yoga. Karma, jnana, yoga. When you come to bhakti, it is pure yoga, yoga of love it is. And karma yoga is yoga of action. Jnana yoga is yoga of knowledge. So similarly the dhyana yoga is yoga of concentration. But ultimately bhakti yoga is yoga of love which is complete, he said. So that yoga is yoga of love of God. So what is that love of Godhead, Prabhupada said? What does a person think in that stage?
Krishna is my master, I am his eternal servant.
Krishna is my Lord, I am Krishna's servant, I am eternal servant of Krishna, so my life is for Krishna. Therefore all my activities should be simply directed for the benefit of Krishna. Haribol. He captured that one. That was the correct thing, yeah. So, and then Prabhupada said, those who are chanting Hare Krishna are the first class yogis, he said. Then Prabhupada said about Abhijana, Manye Dhana Abhijana. What is the meaning of Abhijana? Anybody? Second thing that Prahlad says. First he spoke about the Dhana, wealth. Now he is talking about Abhijana.
Abhijana is actually who has many connections.
What kind of connection?
Big
Aristocratic
connections.
relatives. Yeah, correct. Family. Big connections. Yeah. And so for that, what example Prabhupada gave of a great devotee who gave up all those big connections and wealth and surrendered to Krishna. You don't tell that? You can raise the hand. Yes, you can give the mic.
Rupa Goswami.
Rupa Goswami, Haribol. So he had connection with, because he was working with Nawab Hussain Shah. He had connection with big zamindars, businessmen, big Nawabs. He could not mix with ordinary people. He was in a very big ministerial post. But then at one point of time, he relinquished all that. Tyaktva Turnam Ashesha Mandalapati. And then he surrendered his life to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So both Prahlad and Rupa Goswami, what did they think about such aristocratic connections? What did they think about it? Please give the mic to him.
Useless.
These are useless, Haribol. Capture it. These are all useless. These are insignificant. They gave up. So in our disciplic line you can see whether it is Prahlad, whether it is Rupa Goswami, whether it is next, you can see Sanatana Goswami also, everybody followed that. They were not fascinated by aristocratic connections, he says. They were more inspired to surrender to Krishna. So, and then Prabhupada said, even though millions of years have passed in this world, the things are not changed. And one should not introduce anything new. And for that he gave an example. How the things, for example, what Prahalad did, what Rupa Goswami did, what Sanatana Goswami did, and that same things are continuing now also. So we don't have to introduce new things just because time has changed. So what did Prabhupada say about not changing the spiritual principles? Please give time.
Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to sun god. Now, after billions of years, it's the same. There's
Exactly.
no change.
Haribol. Correct. That was the example Prabhupada gave. Correct. And there's no need to manufacture anything new. New method. Nowadays, if you see, so many new organizations are coming. They are giving new names and new techniques, which are all like self-help techniques. So Prabhupada says these are all useless. Don't change it. Repeat what the Lord has taught millions of years ago. Already knowledge is there, he says. So, and then Prabhupada came to Rupa. Manyedana abhijana rupa tapashruta ojas. So Rupa means form, personal beauty. So now, here he said what example he gave for the beauty. Actually, he used this example of Rupa to illustrate Krishna's greatness. Yeah, he knows.
Krishna and his 16,000 queens.
He explained about the 16,108 wives he had, and what is special about it?
Like Krishna gave them different separate palaces.
He gave them one palace.
Expands himself into the 16,108 so that he can.
He also expanded himself 16,000.
Yes, personally.
Yeah. Haribol. So he was not after the beauty, beauty was after him, he said. So how did he explain that point? That he was not running after beautiful women, but all these beautiful queens who married him, they were after him. What did he say for that? Example? How did he prove that? Yeah.
He told that story of how Bhaumasura.
Bhaumasura, correct.
Kidnapped.
So when Bhaumasura had kidnapped 16,000 princesses and put them in the jail, and then when Krishna killed him and released all of them, they said, we are kidnapped. We cannot go home. Nobody will accept us. Then they requested him that you accept us, and Krishna accepted all of them. Not just accepted, he provided them palace and gold and silver and ornaments and dresses, everything he provided. Haribol. Because he's called Bhaktavatsala. Actually, they were all pure devotees of Krishna. So this whole pastime was orchestrated to bring those devotees to Krishna. So, and then Prabhupada derived one very important conclusion from this episode of how beautiful personalities are after Krishna. It is not only the beautiful women. You will see something else also Prabhupada said. Who is after Krishna? Anybody? Anybody? Very important point. Yeah, please give it to him. Of course, Gopis of Vrindavan or queens of Dwarka, they are not the only ones. You will find the devotees of Krishna, many of them are highly qualified. There are many people who are doctorates, but who are attracted to Krishna. Rupa Sanatan were highly qualified in Sanskrit, Persian, Arabian, Hindi, and so many dozen languages. They were fascinated by Krishna. That means the most perfected souls in this world, they are attracted to Krishna. That was the point. So Prabhupada says that here, after telling about that Bhaumasura's incident, he says here, eventually. Okay. Mannedana bijana rupa tapa. Then he spoke about the tapa. So what is the Prabhupada said, what should a brahmachari do and what should a grihastha do? Prabhupada said. I stated in Bhagavad Gita. He answered. Anybody else? If nobody answers, we'll give it to him. Huh? Yeah.
Austerity and charity.
Brahmachari, Prabhupada says here, brahmachari must perform yajna and grihastha must give in charity. Haribol. Yeah. And what should vanaprastha do? Vanaprastha and sannyasi, Prabhupada said they should do tapasya, austerities. So, and then he said that even if we become a great saintly person, one should still do this thing, yajna, dana, tapakriya, because they all are purifying. And then he came to the education. What education is not, Prabhupada said. Anybody knows? What education is not? You give it to him?
Technological.
It is not just, he says, education is not just electrical education. It's not technology. Nowadays they have taken technology as education. Haribol! You captured that point, correct? Very good. If you become an expert electrician, that's not education. But real education will make you a pandita. And then he defined who is a pandita. Who can say? 3 things he said about a pandita based on Chanakya's definition. Anybody? What did Chanakya say about who is a pandita? Very important definition. Yeah. Give it the mic.
One point I know that one consider other woman, girl as a mother.
That's the first one. Matravat paradareshu. Dara means wife. Paradara means another man's wife should be seen as one's mother. Correct? The other two? Behind. Okay, here. Here you can give.
Other person's wealth is soil.
Paradravyeshu loshtravat. One should not put hand in someone else's pocket. One should consider it like a garbage dump. He said. Will anybody put a hand in a garbage dump? No. Similarly, one should not put a hand in another man's pocket. That means don't touch others' money. Third, atmavat sarva bhuteshu. One should treat others as you want to be treated. Haribol. So you all can repeat this verse. Matravat paradareshu. Paradravyeshu loshtravat. Atmavat sarva bhuteshu. Yapashyati sa panditaha. A pandita means a learned person is one who does these 3 things. And in Indian culture, something new is becoming introduced in North, Prabhupada was telling. Anybody knows? No, wait a minute. You tell, yeah. Yes?
People calling women as Bahenji.
Bahenji is newly introduced. Prabhupada said it's all right?
Not right.
Not all right. What should we call?
Mataji. Mataji.
Mataji only. Haribol. So we should not introduce anything new. Because people say Bahenji, people sometimes even tie Rakhi also, and then next year they stop tying Rakhi. They could think something else in the mind foolishly. So don't do all this nonsense, Prabhupada says. Call everybody as Mataji, he says. Mother. He says. Mannedana abhijanarupa tapashruta ojas. So after tapa, shruta, learning, then Prabhupada came to ojas. So what is the meaning of ojas and what example Prabhupada gave? He knows.
I know ojas means strength.
Strength. And what example Prabhupada gave? Okay. Anybody? Kshatriya, correct? What a Kshatriya cannot tolerate?
If he see anyone getting killed, he should stop.
He cannot tolerate. Immediately he will go to attack. Yes. Haribol. Like example is Parikshit Maharaj. Parikshit Maharaj saw a cow and bull were being beaten up by one Shudra. Immediately he went there with his sword, took it in his hand, and he was ready to cut off the head of the Shudra who was killing the cow, was beating the cow and bull. So he cannot tolerate it. Like nowadays we see, there is a war going on between, You can see Israel and Hamas, you can see. But we think India is a good country, we are all pious and nothing will happen here. But India is one of the top exporters of beef. One of the top exporters. So if so much cows are being killed and being exported to other countries, how can we expect that there will be no problem here? Think about it. If similar problem comes here in India tomorrow, we should know the reason is the poor innocent creatures like cows are being tortured, and not one or two, in large number. That's what he is saying. So Kshatriya cannot tolerate. Kshatriya will immediately raise voice and he will protest. He says. And then he gave one more example in India of one great king. Which place he belonged to? Not even more than 100 years ago that king existed. Yeah, please. Yeah.
Kashmir.
Kashmir king, Haribo. Correct. So what was so special about the Kashmir king? Anybody? Yeah.
Like nobody, like the king was so like strong in his judgment.
He was so strong in his rule that
no thief was there.
no thief was there in his kingdom. You can peacefully lie down. You have no fear somebody will steal anything from you. He was a very strong king. Haribo. And then he said, after Teja, he said, Prabhava, influence, Bala, bodily strength, Paurusha. What is the meaning of Paurusha, Prabhupada said? Yeah? Yeah, Paurusha means one who has achieved many wonderful things. Yeah, person who has attained victory in multiple things. And Prabhupada gives example. Now they think they have got a so-called achievement like an atom bomb. But the purpose of the atom bomb is to kill. So that is not Prabhava, he says. Prabhava means to do good to others, he says. And Paurusha and Buddhi. So after Paurusha, Prabhupada said about Buddhi. So what is Buddhi means? What does Buddhi means, he said. Yeah?
Buddhi. Buddhi means
what Buddhi is and what Buddhi is not.
Buddhi means how to engage in loving devotional service in Krishna.
No, that is a very advanced thing what you are saying. Here Prabhupada said, Buddhi means to know what is the problem of life and endeavoring for solving the problem. Like Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi, Dukkha, Dosha, Anudarshana. So that is real Buddhi, he said. And then Prabhupada said what you are saying later on, Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam Yena Mam Priyanti. He said, yeah. And what Buddhi is not, he said?
Means how to
Buddhi should not be used how I can cheat you. That is not Buddhi, he said. Like some thief may be clever to cheat you. That is not real Buddhi, he said. Hari Bol. Yeah. And then Prabhupada quoted, the real Buddhi is for going back to Godhead. But there are also many other examples Prabhupada gave. The Buddhi is being used for other purposes. One is by hook or crook, one wants to get some money. That is not the real Buddhi. Then he also gave example of ant. Wherever there is a drop of sugarcane juice, immediately ant goes there. He also has the ability to smell and find out. Correct, no? Animals, birds, they all have ability and special buddhi to know how to eat, how to sleep, how to mate. So he was telling, that's not real buddhi. Real buddhi is to find out the way to solve the 4 problems of life, Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi, and go back to Godhead. That's real buddhi, he said. So Prabhupada says, towards the end he says, no need to be disappointed. Oh, because I am poor, I cannot become a bhakta. No. Abala vriddha vanitaha. Vanitaha. He says that, the 10th canto he is quoting, that even children, old people, women, they are all dancing and chanting and offering obeisances to Krishna. Anybody can attain Krishna. You don't need any big qualification. You need only bhakti. That's what he concluded. So in this Prahlad Maharaj's prayer which we recited today, there is one example quoted of somebody whose bhakti was attractive to Lord. Who is that personality? Mataji, yes. Gajendra, Haribol. Correct. That's the last line you will see. Mannedana abhijanadu patapashrutau jasteja prabhava bala paurusha buddhi yogat naradhanaya hi bhavanti parasya pumso bhaktim tutosha bhagavan. And then lastly it says gajayu tapaya. So Gajendra's example is given. So one very important point which Prabhupada concluded. If one is working under the direction of Guru with love and faith, then Krishna from within as Chaitya Guru, the Guru within the heart, he will help you and he will send you bona fide Guru to help you externally. So both ways you will be helped and you will become like Prahlad Maharaj, he said. So here Prabhupada is releasing the secret. Many people say that I can't access the Lord in my heart. How can I get direction from Him? I don't get any direction, nor can I hear what He says. Because we are all hearing our mind, our senses, our ego and so many other things also. So how to hear Him speak to us? So the first step is, he says, read Prabhupada books and then start applying some of those teachings in your personal life. And as we keep doing that, gradually when Lord observes your sincerity, then He will send a Guru, he says. And when the Guru comes in your life and gives shelter, then more and more things become clear to you. And then in this way, one day you can also become like Prahalad, he says. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Nirantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.